Hey guys, this is Tommeh,
What's going on YouTube? This is Dr. Popcorn McBurger.
and welcome to this review. Well, what is it? A rant or review? It's kind of just like
It's a it's a combination.
it's like an explanation more sort of, just because like this is basically an explanation of what gags are suitable for going in a VP, because I've been getting a lot of comments recently from people saying, "Hey, here are my gags, here's my laugh, like would you take me in a VP?" And I can't answer them all, so I thought I might as well just make a video on the subject.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people like on rants and everything that I've made too have they've said, well, would you take me? Are my gags good? We're the VP, etc., etc. And it's really a case by case basis. I mean, like, it's not like you can't say definitively, one of this gag or one of the. It's like, it just, you got to see all of your gags, and it just, yeah, it's not cut and dry exactly. So we'll give a general overview of what we look for.
Yeah, so usually, I mean, for me, whenever I look at a gag page, I can generally sort of just instantly say yes or no whether I'd take them or not.
Yeah.
But I think we'll just come up with some general guidelines for what gags someone should have, because usually laugh doesn't matter. Personally,
Laugh is very.
Personally,
very...
unless you're like an Uber, I'd like to have over maybe 50 laugh is optimal. Maybe over 40 is fine, but now I will take Ubers, don't get me wrong, but honestly the one Uber I will not take is a 2-gag Uber.
Yeah, 2-gag Uber is pretty useless. I mean, okay, throw and squirt. Okay, that's great and all if you have that max. But I mean, any small error at all and you're dead. Like any miss, any fuck up at all, you're dead. So it's like you're basically a dead man walking if you're two-track Uber.
Yeah, and I mean,
not useful.
I suppose that's a good thing and a bad thing. If you're the Uber, I guess that's more fun for you, or more of a challenge for you, because yeah, you're kind of on the brink of dying at every possible opportunity, but then again, you're more of an inconvenience than anything, just because it's almost, I wouldn't compare it to a 50 laugh noob with shit gags, but I would say that it's
a step above, a slight step above, because you tried, you got 2 max gags, but it's just, you're basically just barely more useful than them, just barely.
Yeah, you can't sound, you can't lure, you can't even tune, even if you would need to do that. And you don't have a nuke. I guess you could say that 3-trackers and 4-trackers are sort of the same way, but then again, to me, the best thing, if someone has throw, squirt, sound, and lure maxed, I will instantly take them. I don't care what their laugh is. Exactly. If they have those 4 maxed, or...
Don't care about tune-up, trap, or drop that much, I mean...
To be completely honest, if someone has, maxed fog and hypno, more often than not, I'll just pull the trigger and be like, yeah, you're fine. I mean, unless I can find someone better.
Exactly.
I think one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the line for every laugh and say sort of the average gags I think you should have for your laugh. And this isn't exactly a guaranteed... I'm not exactly saying I would take you for some of the lower laugh, but generally, this is what I'd like to see if I were to take someone in a VP. So let's start out with 40 laugh. If you have 40 laugh, generally you should be in the upper 4,000s for throw and squirt, and definitely have your level 5 gags from ToonTown Central and Donald Stock. I probably wouldn't take someone with those gags in a VP. In fact, I definitely wouldn't, just because that's really not that great. But I say that's bare minimum for being remotely considered good at that laugh. Moving on, 50 laugh. I think you should... I would like to see people have birthday cake and storm cloud. That's optimal, but of course no one ever does. and have like maybe in the 4,000s for like Sound and Lure or the other 2 gag tracks that you got. That's what I'd like to see, but that's what no one really ever does. By the time you're in Dreamland, honestly, just have like 3 gags maxed minimum. I mean, if I see someone who has like all level 5 gags except they have max throw and squirt, like, I will take them in. It's just, like, when you think about it, they're really not as useful as someone who is maxed. And, like, that kind of goes back to the argument about 2 gag Ubers, because, I mean, really the biggest problem with them is that they only have 15 laugh, but the bigger problem is just there's really no versatility within them. Like, you got your throw and you got your squirt, you got 2 high damage things, but other than that, there's really not much to show. I mean, you can do a decent amount of damage, but when you get past that, I mean, you're pretty much someone who can just do like a lot of damage in 2 different areas and nothing else. So to me, if you, like, generally I'll take someone if they have like only throw and squirt max, but it's usually good to see like some other gag tracks maxed. In my opinion, like I said earlier, if you have throw, squirt, sound, lure max, I'll take you instantly. I don't care if you're tune-up, drop, or trap, whatever combination you have. I don't care if they're level 1. Like, that will make no difference to me. I might laugh at you for a little bit and just be like, oh, how ridiculous that this person has such low-level gags, but, I mean, that won't really change my impression, like, because pretty much the essentials, in my opinion, are those first 4 gag tracks, because you can prevent a lot of damage, you can do damage to multiple people, and you also have 2 pretty high damaging attacks coming with the cloud and the birthday cake. So if you have that much, you're fine by me.
Yeah, here's the thing with me. When it comes to the VP, you know, I just look for someone that's putting in effort. Like, you know, if you come in with an average gag of level 5, I'm not going to take you. I mean, if you come in with level 4 sound, you know, whole cream pie, that's it. I mean, I'm not going to take you, because, I mean, it's just, I'm not going to carry you through something that you're just really not prepared for, and you really couldn't win without an insane amount of luck, as far as, like, if there are 8 of you. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, like, what I look for is, I just look for, like, you know, a max gag or 2, bunch of level 6s, you know, just clear effort. If there's clear effort, I'll take you. But if you're just trying to get carried, I'm not going to take you.
And honestly, what you just said sort of, like, made a lot of sense to me. There's sort of a test that I like to think of when I see a tune, like, in the VP lobby. I think to myself, alright, if they, like, they're not exactly being carried if they would be able to defeat the VP if they had 8 copies of their tune. That's sort of like a test. Like, if you see a tune, in fact, that would be a good way to sort of judge it. Like, you could say, if you can defeat a VP with 8 copies of your tune, like, say you just had 8 complete carbon copies of your tune, like, say, if I were doing a VP, there would be 8 113 laugh brands with max level gags.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean...
Just apply that to your tune and think about it. If you think you could defeat the VP with that many copies of your tune, then you could say, yes, I would take you.
Yes.
But then again, like, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing, just because, like, that's gotta take into account no SOS cards, like, only gags and the laugh you have. Like, you can't use any of your rewards, you can't call in any SOSs, you just gotta use gags and the amount of laugh that you have.
Any of those rewards that you got, you didn't really earn if you couldn't have won with 8 copies of your tune to begin with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're, say, your average gag is like a level 4 or a level 5, and it would be highly unlikely for you to win. I mean, you would have a very small chance of winning a VP without being carried by a higher teams. So if you got carried through a few VPs and you got some besties or something, then yeah, I mean, you might be able to win, but you still got carried through, like, I guess, like, transitively, like through, okay, you got carried in another VP, so it enabled you to be carried through this VP, or I guess to carry, not really carry your own weight so much, but you know, it gave you the tools to do it, but only temporarily. And
it's like, you think about it, anyone can spam Bessies till the end of the world and just instantly win anything.
Takes no skill. It takes absolutely no skill to spam Bessie.
Like, you just press a button rather than actually, like, using logic and thinking about, like, how you're going to win the fight.
Yeah, but to go off on like what you were saying earlier about as far as like the laugh, I don't really care about like what laugh you are. I don't care if your gags are good for your laugh. Like, that's great and everything, but when it comes to the VP, that doesn't really matter to me. Like, I don't care if you're 40 laugh and you have like all level 5 gags. Like, that would be really good for you know, like that laugh. For your laugh, that would be very good. But when it comes to a VP, that's not useful. The VP is not made for 40, 50 laughers. I mean, so I mean, you can't really apply the my gags are good for my laugh logic. Yeah, like also with as far as like what Tommeh was saying earlier, with like throw, squirt, lure, and sound. What I call those the core 4. And by that I mean, like, those are the 4 gags you generally use in the game. You know, what you do, you sound your way through everything if you can. You know, you throw, you squirt, you lure, whatever you can't. Shit, hold on. Got it. Yeah, so you throw, yeah, and if something goes wrong, you use maybe the other 3. Like, if you miss, if your gag misses, you tune up. If you run out of throw and squirt or sound, or you can't sound because the tune's soundless, then you use drop or trap. Like, I mean, otherwise you really don't use them because of, you know, they're just not as good. Like, trap doesn't get knockback, drop, you know, obviously doesn't get knockback, low accuracy.
Like, yeah,
So,
like,
yeah,
drop
throw,
and...
squirt. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, drop and trap are sort of just like luxury gags in a sense. Like, they'll help get the job done quick, but they're not...
You don't need them.
You can't really use them that widely. And tune-up, I just think that's something to cover your ass.
Yeah, tune-up's just for when gags miss or people can't play the game. But yeah, so with me, if you have... Ah, you fan of
Oh, what?
You asshole.
Sorry.
That's all good. But if you have high, I would focus on those 4. If you have high throw, squirt, sound, and lure, or like, you know, on average they're high, like say you have max 3 of them and then you have like a level 5, you know, lure maybe, then okay, yeah, like you're doing well. I'll take you for sure. Like, but I mean, when it comes to like drop and trap, like if you have max drop and trap, but your lure, sound, throw, and squirt are ass, I'm not gonna take you. So
that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, I just focus on what's going to be helpful.
What? Oh my god.
At least we weren't going for anything good. But yeah.
That's
so
actually...
yeah. Basically, the point is, like, if you're an Uber and you have like 3, I might take you with 3 tracks. I might not. 4. If you have good tracks and they're maxed, yeah, I might take you. And that's another thing. Ubers. You're not an Uber unless your gags are maxed.
Yes.
And I will not take you unless all of your gags are maxed. Because otherwise, you're just a low tune. You're not an Uber.
But then again, there is an exception.
So,
like, if you're a 4-gag Uber, you have maxed throw, squirt, and sound, but level 6 lure, like, I'll still take you. I mean,
yeah, I mean, that's
really...
close.
It's really just like a case by case. Like, if you see a tune who says they're an Uber, they're 34 laugh, and they have like level 5 throw, squirt, sound, lure, I'm not gonna take them just because like you're in the process of becoming an Uber, but you're not an Uber yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, exactly. If you're going to be an Uber and you have low laugh, you're already putting yourself. You're weakening. If you're an Uber, you're weakening your tune. Because, okay, the strongest you can be is high laugh, high gags. So if you're going to handicap yourself in terms of laugh, like the ability to survive, um, then you better have your gags maxed, or you're not particularly useful, or I mean at least close to maxed. I mean that's the thing. Another like I mean not to go off topic, but like with soundless tunes, like okay, if you're gonna be soundless, that's kind of like a handicap because sound is so heavily relied on as far as like especially in like mints and cog facilities to like get stuff done quickly. Like if you're gonna do that, like be able to make up for it like other ways. Like have all your other gags maxed, have some SOS cards, help everyone out like that. It's just play your part. That's all I'm saying. Like just don't try to get carried, play your part, and I mean no one will have a problem taking you.
Yeah. Well, that's really all I have to say on it. I don't have much else to say.
No, just have good have high gags, particularly focus on throw, squirt, sound, and lure. And if those are high, regardless of what your laugh is, you know, I mean, obviously it's better if it's higher because you can survive, mistakes and you know, random misses. But I don't really look at laugh. I just look at gags because gags are what defeat the cogs. You could have a million laugh, and if your gags are bad, you're still gonna lose. So
That's why I say tune up is for covering your ass, because if you use good strategy, then like laugh doesn't even matter, just because like you'll kill the cogs either way and they won't even have to damage you. Because I mean, I don't see, if everyone has good gags, I don't see a single fight where, unless it's like V2.0s or whatnot, where someone would be able to take damage unless something missed.
yeah, barring misses, if everyone had max gags, new new strategy, and gags didn't miss, you would not tune up will be the most useless gag because you would never need it. Tune up would not be used. They might as well eliminate it in that case. Of course, we don't know. We all know that not everyone in this community, and by that I mean like the majority in this community, are not particularly great at the game. To put it lightly. Um, so yeah, I mean like you gotta deal with those type of people, and I mean also the gags. If they miss, it happens. That's it's part of the game. So yeah, I mean tune up in that sense. You do need it. I mean you don't need it because I mean you also have like SOS cards, and eventually when TTR gets around to it, doodles. So it's not a necessity, but I mean it's useful. It has its uses. I'm not going to say it's useless. I mean it's definitely useful. So but yeah, but definitely throw like I said before, throw, squirt, sound, and lure. The core four. Focus on those. Get my invite every time.
Exactly. Just train your gags, okay? Like
That's the biggest thing. That's
it's
the biggest thing we're saying. Train those gags because at the end of the day, the VP is like it's not a tune task. I mean, okay, Storm Cell, but yeah, but there's no, it doesn't progress your tune. Doing the VP does not progress your tune. There is no task that says defeat the VP. While you can complete tasks by defeating the VP, you can do those tasks other ways. The VP is something you do when you have the gags for it, when you can contribute to the battle a great deal. That's
it's
that's when
called a
you
boss for a reason.
yeah, it's not you don't fight bosses in games when you're weak. It's I mean,
That's like
yes,
putting
it's
in
the
cheat
weakest.
codes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like I mean, yes, the boss is weaker than the other ones, but I mean, you still do face high level cogs. It's not like it's not like you could just go in there with level 5 gags, level 4 gags, and you're gonna breeze through it. You're not. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Just like I said before, play your part. Play your
Yeah.
part, contribute, you know, and everyone will want you, or not everyone, but the most tunes will be fine with you.
So yeah. Do
That's
you have
about all.
anything else to say? That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, I hope you guys heard what you wanted to hear from this, and
Hope you got your answers.
I hope you guys
Take
like
the
this
advice.
and take the advice, please. That would be
Yep.
very, very nice.
Make the game a better place. All that.
Just train your gags.
Yep. Train your gags. Train your gags. Train your gags. I'm gonna say it so much that you hear it in your sleep. Train your gags.
Train your gags.
Yep. All
So
right. Well,
anyway, This is Tommeh, and I'll see you guys later.
Dr. Popcorn Burger out. Have a great one.